Okay guys, so here we go with another Voruna video. I just want to present you my build, the way how I play her, right? As a friend of mine described her, she's currently one of the best platforms for your melee weapons in the game, right? But that's all that there is to her. You can't play her with primary or secondary weapons because you die. I mean, sure, if you use equilibrium, right, her third ability would on headshots would give you energy orbs that can also be converted to health orbs by equilibrium. But again, are you seriously gonna tell me that you would go somewhere in a mission on steel path, like for example survival missions when there is hundreds of enemies in the tile set shooting at you, when you take your time to individually headshot an enemy and expect to survive by this one energy orb that drops? Like, really? It doesn't work like that. But frames and weapons are being made by people that don't play this game, obviously. So at least they gave her something to survive by playing her with melee weapons only, and that's what she is. She's a platform for your melee weapons. That's it. So I'm not gonna talk about how her skills work. I'll just link a video in the description. The engineer already broke down how her skills work in depth very nicely, so you can go and check out that video. Here I'm just presenting you with my build and the way how I like to play her. So for the build, I'm using Steel Charge for increased melee damage, Cunning Drift and Stretch for increased range on her second ability, but you can easily replace Cunning Drift with Prime Sure-Footed or Handspring if you care about being knocked down or stagger. I just don't, because I kill them so fast that they don't have time to knock me down or stagger me. Archon Continuity I used instead of the normal continuity because her second ability would apply 5 random status effects, so relatively often you would apply Toxin status effect, which would give you an additional corrosive status, and that's very useful when you play against Greniers and Corrupted. Equilibrium is absolutely essential. If you don't have it, you die, because what you would do is activate third ability, start killing enemies with your melee weapons, convert the health orbs to energy, so that you can continue constantly using her second and first ability. Now I know that some people don't play her with fleeting expertise and they go with negative efficiency, but I find it not pleasant, at least for my playstyle, because her skills are already quite energy expensive. And her base energy is very low. For the Arcanes, I use Arcane Fury for more melee damage, and Arcane Avenger because you would constantly be damaged by enemies, so you would constantly have this additive 45% critical chance on the weapon that you use, regardless if it's primary, secondary or melee. But again, we don't use primary or secondary weapons with her, because then again you die. For the shards, I use 3 blue shards for armor, 1 for red for ability duration, and 1 for melee critical damage. The primary weapons, we don't care what primary weapons we get, because we are not gonna use it anyway. It's just for the arcane, which is primary dexterity in this case for the combo duration. The same goes for the secondary, which we use secondary dexterity again for the combo duration. Now if you care about priming, I suggest using Epitaph or New Core. I just don't prime the enemies with Voruna specifically, because I do it with her second ability, and I want to be able to kill them, to kill as many enemies as possible with my melee weapons instead of switching between priming and killing them with melee weapons. I find it better to kill them faster with my melee weapons than to switch with the secondary, prime them, then continue killing them. This would just give them more time to kill me than me killing them. For the focus skill, I go with Naramon. For the combo counter decay, for the melee weapon, I use Praedos. My Incarnos Praedos has plus 20% attack speed. Oops. And with the Gladiator Vice that I use, that's already 50% attack speed in Incarnos mode, which is more than enough for me. I also use the Gladiator Might, both with Gladiator Might and Vice stacks, to give you plus 20% critical chance per combo multiplier, which goes well with Blood Rush, so you would constantly do orange crits, occasionally maybe red crits. Primed Reach, so that you can kill as many enemies as possible. Condition Overload instead of Prime Pressure Point, because it just doesn't make absolutely no sense to take Prime Pressure Point when half of the tile set would be in status effects, right? Because of her second ability, like half of the enemies in the tile set would be in status effects. You would get way more damage with Condition Overload than with Prime Pressure Point. Amalgam Organ Shatter, I use it instead of the normal Organ Shatter because it gives me plus 60% heavy attack wind-up speed. Now you might care or not care about this. I just find it a bit more useful to activate the Incarnos mode a bit faster, and very useful in Disruption, because in Disruption the Demolists are very heavy units. You won't kill them with a few normal melee attacks, even with max combo. So almost all of the time you need to use heavy attacks on them, and that's very useful. So 5% reduction in critical damage is absolutely fine for me when I get the benefit of the 60% wind-up speed on the heavy attack. So let's try it.
Oh, the night is my world, city light, bad girl. In the day, nothing matters. It's the night, time that matters. In the night, no control. Through the wall, something's breaking. Wearing white as you're walking down the street of my soul.
You take my self-control. You got me living only for the night. Before the morning, just the story's told. You take my self-control. Another night, another day goes by. I let slow myself to wonder why. You want me to forget to play my role. You take my self-control.
I live above the reaches of the night. take my